know enough about the Stargate projects and the Looking Glass project to know that how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works, and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean that the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012, in an easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future. And eventually we're pushed into this bottleneck of time, no matter which choice we make. And that's important to the people that had access to Looking Glass, because they would use Looking Glass knowing the choices that they would make, and the future would pop up. The big mistake was coming up with the possibility of future. And when we started using a computer to say, well, if we make this choice, it's 79% possible that this scenario happens, and 23% are possible, or whatever, you know, I'm using round numbers, that this scenario would happen. The understanding at the time was that was realistic. However, if you go down the road further and free will continues to exercise itself on this game, that 79% possibility sometimes changes very, very fast. But if you look at the situation in a point of time, it seems very realistic that that's the greatest possibility. What happened was people, very smart people, began to figure out that something big was coming up. Something that made it so all the possibilities of all the future scenarios of any choice, any possibility that was fed in and observed through the Looking Glass inherently ended up in the same future. And no decision, no possibility changed past a certain point.
Shows a technologically advanced white race who control industry, art, and science. In this post-apocalyptic mural, the military man standing on the tail of the beast represents worldwide military power. He tips his helmet to the elite, who are climbing out from underground cities where they safely hid from the apocalypse.
Alright, so what you're looking at, I said I was going to do a video on it, so a while back. What you're looking at is a mirror, or a painting in the UN. And in this painting is their weird imagination that throughout all the upcoming destruction that's going to take place, how they see the foreseeable future, and them overcoming the set outcome. You know what? I said I was gonna, do a show on this, but the other video, long one, I put it in it. I don't know how true it is, but it was a heavy video, and they had to call it up. It was called a Project Looking Glass, and in the Project Looking Glass was the fact of them, the elites, that were trying to change their outcome or the outlook of things of the future and the embedment. And the man stated in that particular video, which low one I still have it in here, that no matter what they did with the algorithm, the different outcome possibilities and so forth, it was really the AI was predicting. That's what they're gonna use an AI is really, it's just a talking idol, and it always led to the same outcome, the same destruction. Saying however they want to change things and so forth. So this man's bent in shape to try to get this thing. What I mean by this thing, this upcoming destruction, so that way he could come out of it pretty clean. All right. So I'm gonna play a little bit more and get a couple scriptures, and I'll go from there.
In the main oval panel above the phoenix bird, a woman is holding flowers. She is the bride in a wedding ceremony. Could the newlywed symbolize she is the bride who are climbing out from a military man stand chained black man on the right panel, the pale horse from the
That's because I did a show on the basically on the pale horse, Psalms 2nd chapter, and the different versions, how foolish these people are, and them not knowing this, especially this woman. Obviously, it is a man that's pushing the pale horse, but the man that's pushing the pale horse is Esau, the so-called white man, the elites. All right.
Book of Revelation is the bringer of death to humanity through weapons, hunger, and disease. The man is releasing him. The chained black man represents slavery, while the top panel of the mirror...
That's where I wanted to go to. All right. That's where I really wanted to go to. Let's go back a little bit.
Chained black man represents slavery.
So who the chained black man? Who's the one that's gonna be the wants to take them down? That's what they're trying to say. They're gonna ultimately have back in slavery. All right. At the end of the day, people could play games of, it's about equal rights and so forth. It's not about equal anything. It's always about that one particular event that we keep stressing about it, that the scriptures keep stressing about it. And that one faithful event is Jacob and Esau. That one little story has really catapulted the whole entire things of this world. And their greatest desire right now is to have blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans either exterminated or right back into slavery, full-blown slavery, not like the old world. Okay, they want extermination or right back to slavery. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But what do the scriptures say about that? All right, and let's get into it. I'm gonna start with this one first. It says, Lamentations 4:21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom." Who's the daughter of Edom? Esau, Edom. All right. Esau, which is a so-called white man. The prominent stories is of Jacob and Esau. Matter of fact, let me start with that, because that goes hand in hand for everything. 2nd Ezra 6:7. It says, I hate when it does that. 2nd Ezra 6th chapter. 2nd Ezra is the 6th chapter. Does this sometimes. Come back to it. Should be in the best behavior now. Okay. 2nd Ezra 6:7. It says, "Then answered I," who's the I? The I is Esdras. This is Esdras talking to the angel, one of the archangels, Uriel. All right. He's talking to him, and he's going back and forth with him. He was having discussions because a lot of things was being revealed to him. Right. So he came and asked this wonderful question. "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times?" So what's going to be the end of the world? What is going to be the end of the world, right? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So it's not about the actual earth being destroyed. It's about the rulership. Okay? Now when you read further down in this particular chapter, it tells you that all the heathens had rule over us. But before that came about, this conversation was mainly about the two main characters. And he answered me, Uriel answered Esdras, from Abraham unto Isaac. When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. So that goes back to Genesis, the 25th chapter. All right? That goes all the way back to Genesis 25th chapter. Why is it so important that Jacob took the heels of Esau? Because the heel is under your feet. And there's a story, that mythological story, by Achilles' heel. All right, which goes into Troy. And that was the only way he could take down Achilles. It was by his heel. So that heel represents a man's weakness, pulling a man down from where he's from. All right. So for Esau is the end of the world. So this whole video right here, this mural, all right, is speaking of the end of the world. And normally I put the whole thing in the beginning again. This is talking about representation of the phoenix, which is a mythological bird that doesn't exist, but according to the story, from the ashes it shall rise and come afresh. That's the whole slogan for this Illuminati, all right? The enlightened ones. In order to achieve their world dominance, the old world must be burnt. The class, everything got to be taken out so it could start afresh. And who comes out of it, that's the main point. So he's basically have started a world apocalyptic, what they would call apocalyptic, because apocalyptic just means to reveal, the unveiling of the destruction of this current status, this current world. So he is the end of the world. He's the end of the age. All right. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Jacob, who represents, name changed to Israel, is the beginning of the next world. All right. This is the outcome that they're trying to change. It says, the hand of a man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question Ezra asked thou not. So the hand, let's look up the word betwixt. Between. Let us see. Betwixt. Something like that.
Betwixt.
Between two people or things. He took a betwixt thumb and the finger. No. In space separating two people or things in between. So the separation of two people. All right, that goes into Luke, the 12th chapter. No, 16th chapter. Talking about a great gulf fixed. That great gulf fixed which is Sirach, the 33rd chapter. Good is set against evil, life against death. All right. So the Lord has betwixt these two different people. It says, what is the difference between betwixt and between? Oh no, not that. What is it? Look at the mind. It says Middle English betwixt, between, in space that separates. So it's all about separation, right? Among, amidst, meanwhile, for two. Everything works hand in hand. Since I've mentioned it, Sirach 33, believe it's 14. Yep. Matter of fact, I saw it up. Sirach 33:10. It says, all men are from the ground, from the common, all come from the common thing. And Adam was created of earth. So Adam also was created. That's what where Adam came from. Earth. All right. It says, in much knowledge, the Lord have divided them, talking about all men. All men are Adamites, right? What they call human beings, right? But there was a one particular Adam, and his line came out the ultimate evil and the ultimate good. All right? There's two stars. At that time was Abel and Cain. Then it came Cain and Seth. All right? So the Lord divided all different Adamites, all the men. Okay? It says, verse 12, some of them he blessed and exalted, and some of he has sanctified. So it was blessed and exalted and sanctified is all the same word. So he took the some, which was his people, and he lifted them up. He gave them the law, statutes, and commandments. He blessed them and set near himself. So these are the people that's near unto God, the creator of all things, the Most High, Yahweh, right? But some of them he have cursed and brought low and turned out their places. All right. The some that was brought low is Esau, the so-called white man. He's the end. He's the anti-life equation. He's the anti-life equation. It's gonna prove it. As the clay is in the potter's hand, who's the potter? The Most High. To fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render them as liking him best. So the Lord set aside created man and created certain men to do or to be something, and other men to do or be something else. Right? Good is set against evil, life against death. So the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High. There are two and two, one against another. So the factor is, everything is created to be conflicted. So this great confliction is what the scriptures are saying and what they're trying to portray. And what they try and portray is putting the children of Israel, God's chosen people, back into slavery. To take the Lord's Eden, paradise, and rule it again. So they're trying to upset what was written. Henceforth, making them the devil. It says back in Lamentations 4:21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Because this is their time to rule. This is their rulership. Okay? So they have to rejoice and be glad. This is their time. They can make the parodies all they want. They can make the slick jokes. This is your time, my man. That dwelleth in the land of Uz. Uz was one of a capital in the land of Mount Seir. All right. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. And what is this cup? Is this a random cup the Lord's going to say, hey, go ahead, drink? No, this cup is speaking of Psalms 75. Yeah, Psalms. I haven't read this in a while. 75:8. It says, for in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red, and is full of mixture. And he, who's the he? The Most High, all right? Pour out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth, shall wring them out and drink them. So, meaning all of this that's within this cup, the evil, the wicked, Esau is going to drink all of it. All right? This cup is talking about slavery. All right? Slavery, captivity, however you want to put it. The Lord is going to put the people of Esau, Edom, back in captivity. Let's look this up in NLT real quick. That was Psalms. Oh, come on. Cooperate with me. Yeah, be playing games, man. Why does it keep doing it? Let me just go type in Psalms 75. What does that say? Psalm 75 and 8. For the Lord's hands, for the Lord holds a cup in his hand that is full of foaming wine mixed with spices. He pour out the wine in judgment. He pour out the wine in judgment. He pour out the wine in judgment. So in this cup is the judgment of the Lord, and all the wicked must drink it, draining it down to the dregs. So in this cup is the judgment of the Lord. All right. So this cup that's going to be passed to Esau is judgment. All right. Verse 9. Back in Lamentations. Lamentations 4:21. So rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that land that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, the judgment. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. So you're gonna drink of that cup. It's gonna be forced down to you. You're gonna be taken out of power. Thy punishment of thy iniquity, and this is the key. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He shall no more carry thee away into captivity. So that proves right then and there that cup was talking about slavery, captivity. All right. So our punishment is over. It's over. It's a wrap. We are in the last stage of this punishment. He would visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He would discover thy sins. So they're trying to upset this particular prophecy. This man wants to stay in power. All right. He wants to be in power forever. Nahum 1:7. Matter of fact, I love this chapter. But let me get to the point. Nahum 1:9. What do you imagine against the Lord? All right. It says, what do you imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. So what you imagine against the Lord, like you could change the Lord's mind of what he plans to do to his people. All right. Affliction is not going to rise up again. So the nation of Israel is never going to go back into captivity. This is just nothing but a wet dream. All right. This is a wet dream that they have. This is not talking about the captivity that they had us. It's talking about the future. These mother effers think that when they come out the ashes, they're going to put us right back into captivity. That they're going to defeat our Lord and Savior. That they're going to defeat the angels of heaven. Like they're going to stop the Most High's plan. Like the Most High himself is not going to... Like this man is complete delusional. All right? He's out of his mind. He's really out of his mind. But that's the perfect villain. That's the perfect attitude. That's a perfect build up. All right. This is how the Lord gets his revenge. This is how the people gets got. All right. Real quick. Isaiah 27:1. It says, in that day, the Lord was with his sore and great strong sword. Because that sword is going to be ICBM missiles, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent. All right, because when you watch that video, that's what I'm speaking of. The serpent, the phoenix is going to come out from that serpent's, and what's the other skin? The foreskin. All right. Even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. And who's that crooked serpent? Esau. All right. the dragon, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea, and the sea represents the people. So this people is going to be slain. This people is going to be put into captivity. They're going to go in one way into their bunkers and hide, and they're going to be extradited violently from wherever locations they are in. And that's when the jig is up. That's when they're going to know it's over. Until that point, they're always going to assume that they always had an ability to get out of a situation. Job 18 and 4. It says, he teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee? Shall the rock be removed out of his place? Because what's going to cause the rocks, everything, the world to be completely changed? Who's going to tear up themselves in their anger? Esau. They're going World War III, missiles. All right. Yet it says, yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of the fire of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be darkened, and his tabernacle and his candle shall be put out with him. So the scriptures is saying that this man is going to fall. He's going to fall for good. He ain't coming back out of that. He's not going to be able to make a comeback. So this whole Phoenix attitude, this whole mindset that he has is truly a parody. That's why last year I did it. Said that why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? And said why do the stupid people or the foolish people think foolishly? Because the scriptures got these people down to the peg. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Because if I'm not mistaken, when you look at this video, all I see is only a particular race of people. And this is the UN, right? Where do everybody else fit in this? I see crackers in the UN portraying that they themselves, let me see if I can get a clear picture. There it is, like, yeah, much better. Like they themselves is going to rule the world to come. And all the nations in the world are here with them. And they don't see this. They don't question this. Like, wait, I don't see my race. You know? Yes, the UN is writing them in Times Square. I mean, not Times Square, in New York. They see that shows that they're the ones going to set it off. They're going to put Israel back into captivity. They're going to have the advanced tech. All right? This is the light of the wicked. This is what he think is going to be accomplished. This is his counsel. All right? Yeah, we're going to come out the bunkers. We're going to be rescued. And we're going to establish. We're going to make that covenant with Lucifer, Satan. That's what they think. And we're going to live ever, what's that word? How the stupid ass fairy tales? Everlasting, or live forever and happiness and so forth. This is their plan. This is a joke, man. This is purely a joke. Parody. All right? It says, but he's going to be met with a lot of resistance. It says, for he is cast into a net, that's a trap, by his own feet, and walketh upon a snare, which is a trap. So he sets the trap. He sets the ball in motion. He sets the premises. Okay? And he assumes that he and his people are going to come out of this unscathed. No, they know they're going to be met with resistance. They know they're going to lose a lot. But they assume that they're going to get out of this. The jinn, which is also a trap, was also representation of a demon, because that's where they get their knowledge from. Shall take him by the hill. Woo! There's that hill again. All right? There's that hill. It says, and the robber shall prevail against him. Who's that ultimate robber? It's talking about the Lord. The Lord is going to come and take everything you got. All right? Matter of fact, real quick before I move on, Daniel 7:18. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess it, and possess the kingdom forever and ever. And ever. All right? So Jacob's gonna take this man down. Okay? Not the other way around. They already took Jacob down. Okay? The nerve of this man. It says, verse 10, the snare is laid for him in the ground, a trap for him in the way. So there's a trap, the snare, everything is leading to him, his own fall. Terror shall make him afraid on every side. So this is not going to be a comfortable transition. This is not going to be a very confident transition. All right? Nah, this is going to be hell for them. The same hell we receiving, the same hell he's receiving. He's being pressured from above to get this shit going. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. Right? Death is looming above this man. It shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. And that goes into Revelations, the 6th chapter, around the last couple of verses. That they want to hide from the one that's sitting in the throne and the Lamb. All right? They want death, but they're not going to receive the death that they're going to get. Because the firstborn of death is coming for them. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, which is his agreement, his counsel. So he's not going to be so confident. All right? Because that mirror is that's a boaster. And it shall bring him to the king of terrors. Who's the king of terrors? Who created it all? Yahushai. So the king of kings, Lord of lords, is going to have to terrorize. He's terrorizing this man now. But he's really going to have to terrorize these people. These elites are not sleeping well. All right? They know they can't. They know what's coming for them. They know who's coming for them. And the middlemen, all these little peons believing that they have some chance in hell. Not knowing that the Lord is playing them. It's allowing them to feel this way. All right? And it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. So everything he got he stole. The earth is not his. His country not his. He was just given a short period of time. He wants to keep the power that he has. It says, because it's none of his, brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation, which is ICBM nuclear missile. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branches be cut off. So no more lineage, no more anything. It says his remembrance shall perish forever. Psalm 49:11. His inward thoughts that his houses shall continue forever. All right, and they name lands after their own names. So everything that they have, everything they established themselves and said, we are the greatest people. The designer clothes that is named after a famous designer. Television, from the pots, you name it. Shit, even fabrics that's owned by certain family members and so forth. All of that shit gonna be burnt up. Nothing of him is gonna be remembered. All right. And he shall have no name in the streets. So you're not gonna have a George Washington Street. You're not gonna have a Adam Copeland Street. You're not gonna have a Bush Street. None of that shit. He shall be driven from the light into darkness and chased out of the world. All right. He's gonna be from darkness. The only scripture tells you that wickedness is not wisdom. All right. So the things that he has that's given him the knowledge and understanding is not true wisdom. But that's the trick. See, that's the beauty of this all. That you can't escape it. And he has plenty of movies where people try to change the outcome but never escapes it. Guess what? That's the end of your story. All right? He shall neither have son nor nephew, no male to inherit anything, to terrorize the world, all right, you're going to be cut off for good. After your 1,000 years is over, you're done. Then where's all those spirits that you preyed upon? Where's all the spirits that told you was going to rule forever? They're not going to be there by your side, you idiots. You're being played right now. But you still won't get it, because that's the pride of what the Lord made you. It says, among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that were before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and his place of him that knoweth not the Most High. So your outcome is the greatest downfall of anything, any empire, so forth. Your fall is gonna be the greatest fall in human history. All the Adamites in the world never had a fall like how Esau's about to have his fall, and he would never recover. With that being said, I hope you brothers edify. Shalom to the elected nations of Shalom.